Hello children, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope all of you are fit and fine. Now we are meeting after a long time. Now at first let me wish Shubho Vijaya to all of you. May Ma Durga bless you with happiness and success all year through. Now children, once again it's time to get back to our studies. From today we are going to start our final terminal syllabus. Those who are having the book with you, please turn to page number 74. We are going to read the story, The Boy Who Wanted to Read. Page number 74, The Boy Who Wanted to Read. I am going to read the story and also explain you the story today. Okay. Now, in the story, we are going to read about Louis Braille. You know, who was he? He was a French educator. He was a French educator and also inventor, okay, of a system of writing, of reading and writing actually, for use by the blind people. It's a system of reading and writing which is used by the blind people. They cannot see, okay, but still they can read and write. It was possible because of this person. His name was Louis Braille. Now we are going to read about this person in this lesson. Okay, so let's start. Try this activity with a partner. You can take a partner and you can try this activity at home. Shut your eyes and have your partner hand you some objects. Try to guess what the objects are by holding and feeling them. Now children, please be very careful. You cannot see them. You have to just touch and hold and feel them, and you have to identify the objects. Once you guess an object, try to give more details about the material used, its size, its weight, and if it has any grooves or marks. As you will realize, the sense of touch is a keen one. It's a very strong one. The sense of touch is very strong. You have to just feel it and identify the objects, and then you have to give more details about the materials which are used. As you will realize, the sense of touch is a keen one. It helps blind people understand objects, places, and even read books. There was a time not long ago when most people thought that the blind could never learn to read. So there was a time not long ago when most people thought that the blind people could never learn to read. They cannot read. Who? The blind people. It was believed that the only way to read was to look at words with your eyes. A young French boy named Louis Braille thought otherwise and made books come alive for the blind. See, he thought for the blind people and he made books come alive for the blind. The year was 1812. In a small town near Paris, 3-year-old Louis was playing in his father's workshop. Mr. Braille made leather objects and had many special tools. Little Louis often spent the day playing there. That means Louis used to spend his day in his father's workshop. He enjoyed to stay there and play also. Stay away from those nails, Mr. Braille instructed Louis. Louis nodded. He looked intently. Intently means, see, with great attention, at the things his father made. Curious little Louis decided to try his hand with the tools too. Now he was a very curious, like you people. Okay, so, and he wanted to try his hand with the tools which were used by his father. He picked up an awl. Awl is what? A sharp pointed stick with a wooden handle. Mr. Braille used it to make holes in leather. So Mr. Braille used the tool to make holes in leather objects. As he played with the awl, Louis' hand slipped. He let out a loud cry. That means he got hurt. Mr. Braille rushed to his son, but the damage was done. The awl had hit one of Louis's eyes. We are going to take you to a doctor, Mr. Braille cried. carrying his son on the streets. However, within a few days, the wound got infected. The infection spread to Louis' other eye, and the boy became blind. See, the small accident caused huge, a great loss to Louis. He became blind. As he grew older, Louis learned to adapt. Adapt means here live a normal life despite his handicap. He was not able to see, but still he started learning. He went to school with all his friends and did well in his studies. He was intelligent and creative. Most importantly, Louis was determined not to let his disability, means here not able to see, slow him down one bit. See, he was unable to see, but that did not stop her from learning. He was so confident. This is what one should be. Soon Louis heard of a special school in Paris for blind students. He did not think twice about going. That means he did not have any doubts. He thought that he has to go there and study. Louis packed his bags and went off to study there. At the school, Louis realized that there were special books for the blind to read. Valentin Havi, the founder of the school, had made books with large letters that were raised up off the page. Since the letters were so big, the books were bulky. Obviously, there are big, big letters. Okay, so that the blind people can touch and feel them and understand them. So the books became very bulky. Bulky means what? Very large and heavy. Also, they were expensive to make. Obviously, the books were very expensive. The school had exactly 14 of them. That means the school had 14 books. Feeling each letter with his fingertips, Louis set about reading the books in the school library. However, this was long and difficult task. It took a few seconds to read each word. That means it took few seconds to touch and feel each word and to understand them and read also. So by the time he reached the end of a sentence, Louis almost forgot what the beginning of the sentence was about. By the time he reached at the end of the sentence, he forgot what was there in the beginning. There must be a better way. This is a difficult way. There must be a better way. I have to find a better way to read and write, Louis said to himself. And as he soon found out, there was a much better way than this one. Louis thought long and hard about a way for the visually impaired to read. Visually impaired means the people who are completely blind or partly blind. Others had created symbols that could be read by touch. However, this finger reading was slow and difficult, and the symbols were complex. Complex means it was difficult to read and understand. Louis wanted an alphabet code to make reading by touch quick and easy. Now, Louis decided that he is going to make some alphabet codes. As soon as you touch the code, you can understand the letter. As fate would have it, Louis soon got the chance he was looking for. He heard about something called night riding. Now he heard about night riding. What is night riding? It was designed by Captain Charles Barbier. The French army used the symbol to read messages in the dark. That means the French army, they used to read messages in the dark. At night, soldiers could not read written messages because they would need light to read. If they lit a match, the light might attract the enemy's attention, so they could not lit up the rooms. So they have to read the messages in the dark. Instead, they use an alphabet code made up of small dots and dashes. Now see, there were alphabet codes which they used, and the alphabet codes were made of small dots and dashes. The symbols were raised up off the paper so that the soldiers could read them by running their fingers over them. As soon as they used to touch the letters, they used to understand and read in this way. Louis tried out the code. He saw it was good, but he wanted to improve it further. It was good, but he again wanted to improve it. On his next vacation home, Louis spent all his time working on his system of writing. He sat all day in his father's leather shop and worked on it. Louis picked up one of the awls. The idea came to him in a flash. Suddenly, he got an idea. The very tool that had caused him to go blind would now help him read. Sorry, now children, see the tool which helped him, which caused damage to his eyes, now today helped him to read. Over the next few days, he worked on an alphabet made up entirely of 6 dots. The position of the different dots created the different letters of the alphabets. Louis used a blunt awl, blunt means which is not very sharp, to punch out a sentence. Holding his breath, he read it quickly. Everything made sense. His plan had worked. He was very happy. Louis had invented a new system of reading and writing for the blind. And the boy was only 15 years old. Just imagine, children, when he invented this new system of reading and writing for the blind people, he was only 15 years old. This system for reading and writing is used all over the world today. Now, all over the world, the blind schools use this system of reading and writing. It is simply known as Braille. Today, the blind can read maps in Braille. Just imagine, the blind people can read maps also by using the system. Special Braille computers enable them to work and connect with the online world. Since Louis loved music, he also created a musical code in Braille. This helps the blind read musical notes and compose tunes. A few years ago, India issued a special two rupees coin to mark the 200th birth anniversary of Louis Braille. The coin bears his portrait and also his name written in Braille. In many countries, there are Braille symbols on currency notes. This helps the blind identify the value of the notes. Now, the blind people can also identify the notes. Just imagine. However, all this was possible because of whom? Because of this particular person. Because of a blind boy with a dream. He had a dream in his eyes and he fulfilled it. Louis Braille not only achieved his dream to read and write, but also thousands across the world to read and write too. Not only he helped himself, he helped thousands and thousands of people all around the world to read and write. Now, children, your homework will be to read the story, and if you have got any doubts, any queries, please feel free to ask me. Read the story again and again, and you can try the activity which is there at the beginning of the chapter. You can read it again and try that. Okay, and start learning the meanings. There are many meanings. Start learning. The next day I'm going to discuss the comprehension part, page number 77. There are certain exercises we are going to discuss in the next class. Okay, till then, stay home, stay healthy, and stay happy, and also enjoy learning. Okay, thank you.